Don't forget to purchase your copy of David White's new book, Shades of Blue. You can contact David, and it is at david@saveassociation.com, or you can contact him via Twitter, and that is David_White7. Okay, so obviously now it was Whitehill had got you on board, and the introduction to Manchester City. So can you remember when you first signed, your professional contract, and what that feeling was like, especially for the club that you supported all your life?
Yeah, the process back then was you couldn't sign any forms for a club until you were 14. So at 14, I signed associate schoolboy forms. I never wanted to go anywhere else, but I remember going to Forest for some reason. I went and had an overnight stay at Forest, and I'm pretty sure Andy Insuff was with me. Yeah. And we did a bit of training there, a bit of a trial game. Don't know why we went, to be honest, because I was never had any intention of signing for anybody else. And I think also, ironically, I went to Leeds, but I think that was more with an organised team, and we went for a trial game and I just happened to be part of it. It wasn't an individual trial for me. There's a letter back home where I'm offered associate schoolboy forms, and my dad writes back and to say we wanted to wait a little bit. But I know then, very soon after my 14th birthday, I did sign associate schoolboy forms. And then I'm playing for my school. I'm playing for Salford Boys, and fun enough, the first game, which would be, I'd be in my last year at senior school. I'd just got a call, I think on a Friday, and my dad got a call to say Tony Buck's been on. We want you to be in the squad tomorrow for the 18 game. Wow, it's just, and that's when it became really real. I've got schoolboy form, but because that was the youth team, so that'd be the youth team, Paul Simpson, Jamie Hoyle, and that type of era. Pretty early on in the season, probably November time. So that's probably 83, I guess, something like that. I go down. Well, I wake up on a Saturday morning. We've got a report to Platt Lane. I think the games, if I remember rightly, were 11 o'clock, probably maybe even earlier, 10 o'clock, and we had to be down there for, I think, 8:30, something like that. Got up, and the weather was awful. I don't think it snowed, but the floor was rock hard. So there's absolutely no way we're going to be able to play here. And so I've got to Platt Lane. I've frozen ice all over. There's no way Platt Lane's playable. And to be honest, I was absolutely disarmed, because it's one of them where you think, this might never be an opportunity like this again. Next minute, Tony Buck shouts out, "Mr. White, David," and go over to him, and he said the undersoil heating's on at Main Road, we're playing there.
No way.
No, absolutely.
Fantastic.
So I get to we go over to Main Road, into the changing rooms. I'd been there before, because we'd had a lot of sort of holiday times where we'd gone on a trial games and everything. So I was familiar with the place, but to actually go into the home changing room and put, and I was in the team, he named the team, and I'm number 7. I can't believe this, and we're playing. It was actually against UMIS, the local university team, and we go out there, and we're playing on Main Road in front of probably 100 people, if that. But we won the game 4-0, and I scored at Platt Lane end, and you just. That was the moment where you think, well, this is really happening.
I mean, it's ironic. You say you played for Salford Boys. I played for Manchester Boys, and we used to train at the Cliff. And it was like, of all the things, we could have trained at Platt Lane or anything being Manchester Boys, but we actually trained at the Cliff. Yeah. So I mean, that feeling. I mean, I played against Derby Boys at Main Road, and we won 3-0, and I set up 2 of them for. There's a guy called, probably a big City fan called Steve Coward. Great centre forwards actually.
Oh,
was on,
I know Stevie Coward.
So I set up 2 great headers for Stevie Coward, and then rounded the keeper and missed an open net. Well, I did. The defender came in, but I mean, to play there, when you've been in the crowd in the kit packs, and then to be in that stadium, even it was 400 or 500 people, but it was such an honour. So for you,
it was incredible, absolutely incredible, and the to say won 4-0, got a goal. Then I started playing more, I think more regular for the A team. Well, probably to be fair, probably more regular for the youth team, because obviously the A team was open age, so a lot of reserve team players might play in the A team. So certainly got played in, was subbing, was travelling. I think I remember got Barnsley with the youth team. It's great, just brilliant experience. And then the one of the oddest things that happened to me that same season, I'm still at school. I was playing an after-school game at my school in Peel Green, there, Eccles. It's a house game, so I'm playing from my house with Lincoln. I'm playing against Salisbury or somebody, and actually playing in midfield, captaining the team and managing it, because there's another game going on and there's not too many teachers who want to look after these games. So I'm just playing away in the middle of the field, and I see my dad at the side of the pitch. Now, my dad would go to every single game, but he wouldn't turn up at a house game. He probably wouldn't have even known it was on. And he's at it going, "Oh, come here." And bear in mind, this is probably half past 4 on a Tuesday afternoon after school, and he's, "Come here." So so just wait for a break and play, run over. "What do you want?" He says, "You're in the reserve squad for tonight."
No way.
Yeah. So So he literally, get off. Yeah. He literally said, "You can have to come off. We've got to go now." So I had to. I don't even remember if there was a sub. I think I made a substitution. Come off the pitch, got in my dad's car. I think we went home. I think we'd have probably got me boots cleaned up, and I probably stuck a tracksuit. I can't remember what we shot down to Main Road, and I was sub for the reserves against, I think I'm pretty sure it was Chesterfield. So that was, and I got on in that game. Didn't score. And I think I have a feeling we didn't win. I don't think. But again, you think these, the progress, it just seems to happen. It sort of comes out of nowhere, and then suddenly, that was it. And then at the end of that season, you sat there waiting. Am I going to get an apprentice? It was the first year of YTS that year, and you looking around. It wasn't as straightforward as you might think, because even though I went on to play a lot of games for the club and played for the country at various levels, there was still a bit of anxiety as to whether you'd even get that ownership, because we had so many good players. I mean, I played with Steve Redmond. He was a centre forward as a kid. Andy Inchcliffe was a forward player as a kid. Lakey was a forward player as a kid.
So you're talking about these players in the '86 youth?
Yeah, So
those type of players.
The team that went on to winning it, the Youth Cup in '86, was basically a load of forward players and centre forward when they came to the club, and then the club just decided, look, they're all good players. Let's have them all, and let's do what we can do with them. So, and it was pretty remarkable what Tony Buck and Glimpardo did, because straight away he'd say, well, Steve Redmond, you're now not a centre forward, you're initially a central midfield player, then he became a central defender. Lakey obviously ended up as a more defensive player. Andy Inchcliffe became a full back as opposed to a sort of an attacking left-sided player. I was fortunate that I'd been a centre forward. I played most of my Salford Boys stuff as a centre forward, but I could play. Obviously, I'm comfortable on the right wing, probably where I wanted to play. We had a lad called Andy Thackeray who was a centre forward from Huddersfield. He ended up being right back in the first season of the Youth Cup, and then a central midfield player. So we just adapted all the players we had. It just, the good players, let's make a team out of them, and that's what we did. And we had a remarkable couple of years, and missed out in the first year. Got beat at Newcastle in the Youth Cup. Paul Gascoigne's team should have beat them, to be fair. And then in the second year, we lost the first Saturday League game, the Lancashire League game, which is an tough open age division. Got beat in the first game against South Liverpool. Really got beat 4-1, really well, and then we never dropped another point in that league. And other than we cruised through the Lancashire League, the Lancashire Youth Cup, although they never let us finish it. We just literally ran out of time. They played the final the year after and played the younger kids. And the FA Youth Cup, we're beating teams over the couple of years. We beat teams 8-0 and 6-0 and 10-0 and 12-0.
It was just full of such real quality players, wasn't it? Together in one.
Yeah,
you almost look at obviously the United, the Fergie, you know, kids and things like that. And you look at that U team in particular. It was just there was some very strong.
The two. I mean, the two I didn't mention there were the two or three who were the big hitters. Darren Beckford was the England schoolboy international that the club had, and he was always going to be the main centre forward year one. Paul Molden was the absolute superstar coming through, and then Ian Scott, the central midfield player, he was the other lad out the England schoolboy setup, and they were the superstars. They were in our year, Paul and Ian were the superstars, and yet they were the ones that didn't make the progress that the rest of us made. So you literally, you said before, kicking the ball against the wall. That's all I ever felt I did. I just, if nothing else, as a kid, and then through my apprenticeship, and I worked really hard. I practiced constantly, and
with that point though, do you think certainly this day and age, I see it, kids don't do that? I mean, we live. I grew up in Woodhouse Park in Wythenshawe, and I was playing with when I was 11, I was playing with 17, 18-year-olds, and we lived. There was a house separated. Our house was here, and one was next door, but there was a gap of 2 walls, and all I did all day was I must annoy my parents, and was just kick balls over to the other one, bring it back on my chest, control it, play in the little spaces. You don't really see that anymore, and you're lucky if you see a park with kids kicking it around.
Well, exactly. I mean, as I say, unfortunately, it doesn't feel as safe. Well, it isn't safe to send your kids out on the streets anymore. You can't do that, and also there's a lot more stuff that you can do now as a kid, and a lot of that is based digital stuff that you don't need to leave the house for, and that's obviously to the detriment of probably football and sport and health. Yeah. But it's to the positive of other business. Of course.
So IT and the technology.
Absolutely. So it is difficult. Other than the sort of health side of it, it's difficult. It's difficult to be critical of it. But I mean, we had a bungalow. We had a sort of a long sort of run, and we had the garage was actually attached to the house next door. But my dad owned that house, so it was our garage, and I literally had a tiny. It was the shape of a goal. Yeah. But probably half the size or 2/3, something like that, and that was my goal, and I just used to spend hours and hours and hours just kicking the ball against that wall, and exactly the way I would dip it is when I scored my 4 goals at Villa, my 3rd goal. That was it. That is what I used to do, and because my confidence was so high on that particular evening, as Quinny played the ball into me and I had one touch in front of me, I looked up and the goal may as well have been about a mile wide, because I absolutely knew that it was
almost this muscle memory from a kid.
I just looked up and at that point I may as well just pick the ball up and took it to the halfway line, because I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew exactly where the ball was going. I just knew, and that's exactly that. Just and that's the
practice.
Yeah, and that's what people say. What's your favourite goal? All day long, it's that goal. But it's because I know how hard I worked to make that possible.
Well, it's interesting because that very goal and those 4 goals against Villa, I was having a Skype call with Bolt from the Blue, who does a podcast all about Man City, and we were actually talking about that game and those goals. So as a plug for Bolt from the Blue. So anyway, we're going to move on to some of the questions now.